Hi, my name is Craig Baker. I run the MiWayLife business as well as the Sanlam Direct businesses in Cape Town. And I thought what I would do today is give you some idea of how the current pandemic has actually impacted various sectors of the business and the way that we do things. So I thought I would start off just by giving some indication of some of the things that we've done in terms of the business since the start of this current pandemic at the back end of March. The immediate steps that we took obviously was to try and ensure as much safety for the people that were working on site as possible. Given the fact that we operate fairly large call center operations, a lot of our staff and agents are actually based in one premises in Joburg and one premises in Cape Town. And these are generally fairly densely populated workspaces. So we needed to take some action relatively quickly. We immediately implemented things like social distancing, where we made sure that there were enough empty spaces between people to ensure that there was enough distance between them based on the advice that we got from the healthcare professionals. We increased deep cleaning of the facility to happen on a regular basis, as well as regular fumigation, which took place once a week. And we put together care packages for staff, which included things like personal protection equipment, immune boosters, as well as some information on how to keep yourself safe. We introduced temperature testing immediately to make sure that people that were in any way exposed or that we suspected were showing any symptoms were immediately isolated to protect the balance of the staff and ensure that we didn't spread the virus. And then we ensured isolation for anybody that was in any way exposed to people that had tested positive or where we suspected that they were exposed to anybody that was tested positive. We had a very small number of people that went through this, thankfully. And to date, we have not yet had anybody who's tested positive for COVID-19. So we're hopeful or relatively confident that the steps that we took yielded the results that we were looking for at that point in time. However, these things changed fairly quickly, and we were then subjected to a lockdown, which in our business is fairly disruptive, given that all of our technology, all of our people are generally based on location, and the ability to be able to then mobilize people to work recovery sites was quite difficult. We would, in our normal planning, we would plan for these things under our business continuity management plans, where we would relocate people to work area recovery sites. The difficulty in this particular instance was that we weren't going to one work area recovery site, so we didn't lose a facility physically and have to relocate people to another facility. In essence, what we had to do was set up 400 individual offices for people at home. And that was a fairly interesting task to get done. We needed to obviously get people's machines, people's technology to their locations, to their homes, and then enable them with the necessary support from a data perspective to ensure that the networks and infrastructure could allow them to work remotely. In addition, we had a couple of other things that we needed to make sure of, in that our people work with people's personal information, and we needed to make sure that systems were locked down sufficiently and that people were not able to access things that they shouldn't have access to or replicate issues in terms of people's personal information while still allowing them to be able to do their jobs, where in many instances this information is still required. That took about 2 weeks, and I'm pleased to say that in excess of 75% of our people are now able to work remotely. It is not without disruption. I think the telco networks are under some pressure. And in the first part of the lockdown, we suffered tremendously from the undersea cables that were damaged, and that impacted our ability to be able to service our clients, to be able to pay claims, as well as to be able to interact with clients who wanted new policies. That seems to have settled down now, and we've also taken steps to bring in additional support measures on infrastructure and networks in being able to get better data connectivity so that our guys have more stable connections and are able to deal with clients in a more efficient way. As I said, 75% of our guys are now able to work remotely. The balance of the 25% of guys are simply not able to work remotely because either their personal circumstances don't allow for it, or their home environments don't allow for it, or else they're actually completely uncovered by some of the data networks where they need a certain amount of bandwidth to be able to do their jobs. But we continue working on that to make sure that we can get them effective and that we can allow people to be able to do something to continue earning a living, and making sure that we have efficient employees that we can continue paying salaries to and paying incentives to on that basis. So that gives you a sense of some of the things that we're doing and that we continue to monitor and that we continue to do. I'm pleased to say that our service levels to clients have maintained at sort of pre-COVID-19 levels. We continue to pay claims out each and every day, so we are servicing the needs of our policyholders. And we're able to still continue selling, albeit on a slightly scaled down version, simply because not all of our people are able to work from their remote locations. So we continue to work hard to make sure that we can deliver to our clients and that we can be there as and when our clients need them, whether that is for new business, whether that is for servicing requests, or whether that is for paying claims. We still, however, have the responsibility to make sure that our staff are able to generate an income, but that they can do so in a safe and efficient way, and that we can continue to try and make sure that none of our people are affected by the pandemic as it currently exists.